Ying-jeou went on a trip to China 2 days before her husband, Mitch McConnell, was hospitalized after being found unconscious. Chow continued with her trip after hearing the news. Does Mitch have ties to China? Yes, but it's complicated. In this video, I get to talk about two things I love: Kentucky and Taiwan. Addison Mitchell McConnell III was born on February 20th, 1942, and may or may not still be alive. I think he's alive. He was actually born in Alabama, but he moved to Louisville, Kentucky in 1956. I'm from Kentucky. Mitch McConnell has been a senator since before I was born, and a lot of people called him a turtle because he kind of looks a bit like a turtle. To briefly summarize McConnell's political career, he has worked in the government since the late 60s. In 1975, President Gerald Ford appointed him as the Assistant Attorney General for Legislative Affairs. Then Mitch went back to Kentucky, where he became the County Judge Executive for Jefferson County in 1978. It might be surprising today, but Republicans used to be competitive in Louisville. Also, a judge executive isn't a real judge, it's the executive of a county. Kentucky is the only state that has this position. Then in 1984, when Reagan had his 49-state landslide, McConnell narrowly defeated incumbent Democrat Senator Walter D. Huddleston. Since then, he has never lost re-election, though there have been a few close calls. He was the leader of the Senate Republicans, sometimes in the majority and sometimes in the minority, from 2007 to 2025. He was a staunch opponent of Obama, but hasn't been 100% on board with MAGA. In 1993, McConnell married Ing-jeou, who Donald Trump has called a China lover. Marjorie Taylor Greene called Chow a Chinese spy. Then again, Greene thought that California wildfires were caused by Rothschild space lasers. Some Democrats have used Ing-jeou to tie McConnell to China. Chow was born in Taiwan, but has been a U.S. citizen since 1971. Her parents, who are both notable, are not from Taiwan. Her mom was from China's Anhui province, and her dad was born near Shanghai. Her mom was named Mulan after the character from Chinese folklore. Her English name was Ruth. Her dad, James S.C. Chow, was working on a merchant ship in 1949. As the communists were winning the Chinese Civil War, James's ship wound up in Taiwan. James and Mulan were Waishengren, mainland Chinese who went to Taiwan to escape the communist takeover. Many Waishengren were connected to the ruling Kuomintang, but I've not found any conclusive evidence that either of Ing-jeu's parents were KMT members, and James Chow has said that he was never part of the KMT. Ruth Mulan Chow's dad was a jurist in Taiwan, which means he was probably in the KMT, but he also could have been an independent or a member of the two legally recognized opposition parties. The Chows married in Taiwan in 1951, but they didn't stay there for too long. They moved to the US, where James founded the Foremost Group, a shipping company, in 1964. And while people have pointed out that Foremost does a lot of business in China, now, the facts that James Chow was born in China and his company does business in China don't really prove anything. After all, he was on the opposite side of the Chinese Civil War. And if you're running a major shipping company, you're likely going to be doing some business in China. However, it doesn't end there. James was classmates with Jiang Zemin at Shanghai Jiao Tong University. Jiang Zemin would later become the leader of the People's Republic of China. As the PRC was beginning to open up its economy, outside investment came pouring in, and a lot of this investment came from Chinese businessmen living in Taiwan and elsewhere. In a 2015 interview with a Chinese business news outlet, James Chow said, "As an ethnic Chinese, I have an inseparable bond with China, so I naturally should lend a helping hand." He also met with his former classmate Jiang Zemin in 1996, as well as Jiang's successor Hu Jintao. I found no record of him meeting Xi Jinping, but here's a picture of him with Vice President Han Zheng in 2024. I should point out that he has also met with two Republic of China or Taiwan presidents, Ma Ying-jeou and Ing-wen. While Ruth Mulan Chow died in 2007, James Chow is still alive and is 98 years old as of this recording. Have the Chows influenced Mitch McConnell's China policy? Well, maybe. Mitch McConnell is actually considered a China hawk. He supported the Hong Kong protests. He is pro-Taiwan. He has supported sanctions on Chinese individuals over Hong Kong and Xinjiang. He supported Democrat Nancy Pelosi's trip to Taiwan that really angered Beijing. That said, Mitch McConnell is not normally a target of criticism from PRC state media. Several American politicians have been put under sanctions by the People's Republic of China, including Marco Rubio. But Mitch McConnell has not been put under sanctions. Maybe that's because of his family connections. I don't know. So, Mitch McConnell's China connections amount to his father-in-law being someone who is well respected in China. I thought there would be more to talk about.